Hello and welcome. I am so glad you're here. Today, we're going to do a quick and friendly check-in on some of the core ideas in Power BI. Getting these fundamentals down is really the key to everything else, so let's just make sure we've got a solid foundation to build on.
So are you ready? And hey, remember, this is not a test. It's just a simple way to boost your confidence and make sure we're all on the same page. Let's get started with the big picture. First up, we're going to talk about the Power BI workflow. Before you dive into all the little details of any tool, it's just so important to understand the typical journey. How work actually flows from the very beginning to the very end. Okay, so here's our first question for you. Just take a second and think about the normal sequence of events. Where do you start building? Where does it get published? And where do people actually go to see all your hard work? All right, here are your options. Do you start in the service, or do you get things going in desktop and then share it out? Or maybe you start right on your phone. Just think, where does all the real heavy listing happen? And the correct answer is that second option. If you got that, awesome job. The key thing to remember here is the difference between the tools. Power BI Desktop is your workshop, right? It's where you build and shape everything. The Power BI Service, that's more like your gallery or your storefront. It's where everyone goes to see the finished product. And this visual just lays it out so clearly. You can see it. Step 1, create your report in desktop. Step 2, share it to the service. And then, Step 3, that's when your audience gets to interact with it either on the web or on their phone. It's a really simple, logical flow when you see it like this.
Great, now that we've got the workflow down, let's move on. In this next part, we're going to look at the actual building blocks, the fundamental stuff that you work with inside Power BI. So what are the most basic pieces that every single Power BI project is made of? What do you absolutely have to have before you can even think about making your first chart or graph? Okay, you've got two choices here. Is it tiles and visualizations? Or is it semantic models and reports? Think about what has to come first. What's the real foundation? Yes, the answer is semantic models and reports. This is such a critical concept. Because while the visualizations are the cool things you see, the semantic model is the powerful engine working behind the scenes. It's the organized data layer that makes everything else even possible. I love this way of thinking about it. The semantic model is literally the foundation of your house. You can't put up walls, you can't install windows, those are your visualizations and reports, without having that solid foundation in place first. It's the source of truth for everything. All right, you're doing great. We've talked about how you build and what you build with. Now, for the last piece of the puzzle, how do you package all of your amazing work up and deliver it to your audience in a really clean, professional way? So, let's say you have a whole set of related reports and dashboards, and you want to share them all as one single neat bundle. What does Power BI call that collection? Let's take a look at our options. Is that bundle called the canvas? Maybe a scheduled refresh? Or is it simply an app? Which of these sounds like the right term for a package of your work that you'd share with other people? You got it. It's an app. This is how you give your users a really polished, curated experience. Instead of sending them links to 5 different reports, you just bundle them all into one simple app for super easy access. And this shipping container analogy is perfect. You've built all this amazing stuff, your reports and dashboards. Well, the app is just the container you put it all into so you can deliver it all together, nice and neat, to your audience. Wow, we have covered a lot of ground pretty quickly, and you've done an awesome job. So let's take a quick second to pull everything together and just review the 3 main ideas we talked about. So here are the key takeaways. First, the workflow. You create in desktop, you share to the service, and then you interact anywhere. Second, the building blocks. The semantic model is the foundation that lets you build your reports. And third, the delivery. An app is how you package it all up for sharing. Simple as that. And that's it. You've totally nailed this check-in on the Power BI fundamentals. So the real question now is, what are you curious about? Which of these ideas, the workflow, the building blocks, or the delivery, are you going to dive into next on your learning journey? Thanks so much for joining me today.